Just going to say hello to everyone and welcome to our second webinar for our special series here with Strive Sport. So just again, my name is Jasmine. I'm from TidyHQ, and tonight's session is all about structure and strategy. So setting up for success committees and governance. So really just a quick session. We're going to walk through strengths to strengthen your club's governance and how you can action each one using Tidy. So this is really insightful if you're a president, secretary, or treasurer, or you're just about to join the committee. So hopefully this will help you or committee get on the same page. So yeah, let's dive in. Yeah, so quick introduction for those who don't know us. My name's Jasmine or Jazz. So I'm representing Tidy HQ, so I'm the account manager here. So a little bit about Tidy. We're originally founded back in 2012. So it sort of started when our founder, Isaac Jury, he was frustrated with clunky spreadsheets, lost emails, and chaotic handovers. So he's experienced it himself from his own experience as a president. So he realized there had to be a better way of managing the community, which led to the creation of Tidy. So since then, Tidy has grown and it supports thousands of groups globally. So it's from sports clubs, student unions to peak bodies and not-for-profits. So now I'll hand over to Jen from Strive Sport to introduce herself.
Hi guys, pleased to be here with you tonight. I love talking about club governance and all that entails. Strive Sport is all about helping clubs strengthen their governance, refine their strategic plan. Often sports clubs and not-for-profit groups don't have a strategic plan, so we can help you create one, enhance your financial sustainability through tailored mentorship, workshops and educational programs. We foster inclusive, well-structured sporting environments that promote long-term success. We're committed to building diverse, high-performing sports communities where all participants, regardless of gender or background, have the opportunity to excel. And love to work with TidyHQ and the Tidy community. Thanks, Jazz.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen. Alrighty, so just jumping in to clarify your committee roles. So I'll hand over to Jen and then I'll discuss how we can do this in Tidy as well.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks, Jazz. So let's talk structure and not the kind of with confusing org charts and dotted lines. We mean something much more useful. So we need to know from president, treasurer, secretary, who does what, how are decisions made, and we'll go into a decision tree in just a minute, and how do we make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. Clubs often rely on a handful of passionate people doing everything, but without structure, that passion turns into burnout fast. That's why structure means more than just titles. It means having position descriptions with clear roles and responsibilities. When people know what's expected of them and what isn't, they can actually enjoy their focus, enjoy their role, focus their energy, and feel confident stepping up. It also helps the club avoiding duplication, supporting new volunteers, and plan for smooth handovers when people move on. A clear structure supports sustainability, not control. So it's how we turn our culture and our vision that we discussed in our last webinar into practical action and make sure the club runs with its people and not on top of them. Strive Sport can help you in developing some template position descriptions as well within your Tidy HQ environment. Feel free to reach out. Thanks,
That's
Jazz.
great, Jen. That's awesome. Sometimes it can be quite confusing to know who's responsible for what. So to have Jen from Strive Sport to be able to facilitate that is super handy. So once you have got those role descriptions in place, you can implement them into Tidy. So we've got an area where you can upload the descriptions directly there. And then you can have as many roles as you like in Tidy and assign each admin to those roles. So then that way you just know who's responsible for what. And it's all easy to keep updated when there's a handover. So you can even print them out for your PDFs as well. So for your next AGM, you could print out all your roles and responsibilities, and Yeah, I'll show you how to do that in Tidy once we get to the demonstration section. So, oh, oh,
Oh,
I'm getting too excited today, guys. Here we go. I'll hand that back over to yourself, Jen.
yeah. So map out decision-making processes. This is really helpful when being able to agree on what requires a vote and what can be actioned by individuals or subcommittees. I'll talk you through these examples that are on the screen as I realize that is way too small for anyone to be able to read. So now let's talk about decisions because not everything needs to wait for the next monthly committee meeting. Some decisions should be made by individuals within their role, others need group discussion. Mapping out who decides what helps avoid the classic committee by email trap or the dreaded decision paralysis and too long in a committee meeting discussing too many of fine points that someone could just make a decision on. Good governance isn't about slowing things down with more process. It's about knowing what can move quickly and what needs to be considered more carefully. When you map decisions like this, you avoid the two extremes of everyone decides everything, slow chaos, and no one knows who decides anything, silent chaos. So, Jazz, if you want to go to the decision tree on the next slide. So a decision tree helps us reduce confusion. Committees can grind to a halt when no one knows who makes the call, or worse, when everyone thinks it's someone else's job. A decision tree clearly shows who decides what, when, and how. So it helps us skip the important steps and make decisions faster. Some decisions can be made on the spot, others need consultation, input, or a formal vote. A decision tree lays this out, so simple things don't get held up and important things don't get rushed. Too often, everything ends up waiting on the same one to two people, usually the president or the secretary. A decision tree spreads responsibility and trust, freeing up your leadership to focus on the big picture. It helps build consistency and transparency. When the process is clear and fair, people feel more confident in decisions, even if they don't personally agree with every outcome. That's a huge win for club culture. And when you're onboarding new volunteers with confidence, a clear process with less hand-holding means new committee members can follow the flow, know where they fit, and take action from day one. So a couple of examples that we showed, planning a club fundraising event. Responsibility is the events subcommittee where they propose the plan and the budget, and the decisions made by the committee reviewing and voting at monthly meeting. And then you can upload your documentation with the proposal, approval, and responsibilities saved in TidyHQ. And this shows how decisions that affect multiple areas, e.g. volunteers, finances, bookings, need broader input, but still follow a clear process. Or if you're changing a training venue or time, the responsibilities by the president and the coach consults members and assesses options. The full committee votes after consultation, with meeting minutes recorded with a rationale, decision, and next steps. This is a decision with wide-ranging impact, so the process includes consultation, careful review, and full committee sign-off. So what you could do at a committee meeting at the start of your season is work through a couple of key decisions that you know your committee will have to make. What the decision type is with the uniform and whether it's operational, who proposes it with the uniform coordinator, and who best decides upon it and where it needs to be documented. You probably can predict with certain degree of confidence what decisions are going to come up throughout your year as part of your club. And then as a committee, you can agree on what the process to follow is so that when it happens, you can make a timely decision and not have to wait until your next committee meeting. Thanks, Jazz.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen. Really insightful there.
So as part of identifying our key risks, as I talk to this next slide, I want you to write down the biggest issue your club didn't see coming this past year. Could it have been on your risk radar? Every club has risks, and most of them aren't disasters. They're just small things that get snowballed. The goal here isn't to write a 30-page risk policy, it's to be aware, assign ownership, and track what really matters. What could seriously derail our season, our reputation, or our ability to deliver for members? Start with your top 3 to 5 and review them maybe twice a year. You can use TidyHQ to attach tasks, set reminders, and even assign key risks to specific roles. That way, you don't just know what could go wrong, you're actively managing it. So, for example, with financial management, a volunteer forgets to submit receipts or overspends on an event. So, why does this matter? Without proper tracking, clubs can blow their budget or fail to report accurately, and it's often unintentional. So, how to manage it? Use TidyHQ to assign budget limits, track expenses, and keep digital records. The treasurer owns this risk. Or a key volunteer quits mid-season. No one knows what they're doing or where the files are. This creates last-minute scrambling, missed deadlines, and frustration for the whole team. So if you clearly define the roles and responsibilities and document everything, the secretary or president should ensure handovers are in place. Declining participation. Numbers start dropping in junior teams or members don't re-register. Without consistent member engagement, your club's sustainability takes a hit. So tracking retention and participation trends, engaging members regularly and getting feedback about how things can be improved. The committee should assign someone to monitor member engagement and retention data. These are some of the key decisions and the key risks that we would see clubs having to manage and can be managed more efficiently. Thanks, Jazz.
Awesome. So, as Jen mentioned, there is ability to run your meetings more efficiently, and you can all do that within TidyHQ. So, in TidyHQ, there's the ability to create your agendas, and then start your minutes from there as well. And then while you're doing your meeting minutes within Tidy, you can start assigning actions to the roles and track decisions, and it's all tracked in one area. So that way, when you hand over to the new committee member, they can just go into Tidy and they can find it all documented there. And then they can also see what outstanding potential tasks they might have to do if they're taking over a role. So, as an example, if they're taking over the secretary role, the treasurer role, they'll be able to see any outstanding tasks that they need to get up to speed with. And yeah, everything stays recorded for future reference. So it really helps with that smooth transition. So as I go into our next slide here, you'll know it's very similar to last week. So it was about how you could store your vision and values and structures in Tidy using our storage app and using our webpage app for visibility for all your members. So I'm going to jump back into TidyHQ. So I'm just going to do a very, very brief overview of meetings, as in the next fortnight, I'll actually go through the process of setting up maybe your AGM and also doing meeting minutes as well. So we'll keep this one nice and brief. So just watch me switch screens for 1 second. Okay, so welcome to Bondi Football Club, aka our demo account. So when you first come into Tidy here, yours will look very similar if you already have a Tidy account. So a lot of your accounts will just be very plain and simple welcoming page. So this first setup, you can actually create your own website here. So if you don't have a website or domain holding your website, you can use Tidy, as all TidyHQ accounts come with the ability to create your web pages from here. Another idea is potentially just holding some information as like an administration portal, or you could also store some external links to your actual website. So if I just head to this menu option here, you'll see we've got all these different menu items here. So if we go down to club resources here, you might have an external link to your actual club. with any external resources that you would like to be available for your members. Now, also with our meetings app, if you decide to make the meetings public so your members know what decisions are being made for your club, that will also be stored here on TidyHQ. Yours will say meetings. We've actually, for our Bondi Football Club, have made ours personalised to be committee works. So you can also personalise the title of your page. But if we go in here, our actual members will be able to see, okay, this is a meeting that has happened or is upcoming, and they'll also be able to see the meeting minutes as well. So if I just go into this one as an example, so you can see this is the annual general meeting that we have, and it's coming up on the 31st of August this month. And we'll be able to see the location, the date. I can add it to my calendar. And this is who the minute taker is and the chairperson as well. So you can see that Isaac, he is being a champion and he's going to be the chairperson and minute taker for us. And currently we just have Alex, one of our committee members, attending. For this example, we also are displaying the meeting minutes because we've done a demo already. So it's displaying the minutes. So once you've done the minutes and it's public, this will be posted. And any attachments for that particular meeting will also be included here. So it's a really good way to show your members what's going on and what decisions are being made. So let's just head back to the main page again. So I'm just going to go into this other section here. So if you are wanting to store important documents, you could create a page on your website here or TidyHQ and make that visible for all your club members as well. So if you want to make it visible for your coaches, this is an area maybe you want to store your visions for your club as well. Now I'm going to go into the back end of TidyHQ. So that would be the admin access. So whoever has admin access will be able to see the dashboard. So to be able to access that, you come up to your little avatar here. And if you click on here, you will have the ability to click admin dashboard. Once you click admin dashboard, it will take you to a page like this. And this will just give you an overview of your account. Now, it's really important when you are setting up your TidyHQ account that we head down to the admin and roles section here. And this is where we want to decide who's going to have access to your club and who is going to have permissions of what areas. So as Jen mentioned, you might have subcommittees. So for example, we've got Isaac here and he is actually having full access to this account. And if we scroll down, we've got Daniela down here, and she only has access to our events. So when Daniela logs in, she'll have admin access, but she'll only be able to make changes to the events area. So perhaps she might be the events coordinator, or she's only helping with anything to do with events. So you can manage the different access levels for each of your volunteers to the areas that they need to have access to. So the next part is once you've given your team admin level access, you want to give them a role. So this is really important for your succession planning, that everyone is assigned to a role. So you'll see we've got these two options here. You've got admin and then you've got a role. So once you've done your admins, you've invited them all, they've all got access to each area, come to this role section. And this is where you can implement the new roles. So you've got, generally you'll always have a president, the vice president, treasurer, secretary, but you may have other roles as well. So you can see for the Bondi Football Club, we actually have a government liaison manager and we also have a football manager and so on. So you can create as many roles as you like in Tidy, and then you can also add their responsibilities. So it's really important to add their responsibilities so everyone knows what they're responsible for. And you can also print these out for your next AGM as well. So once you're deciding the election of your committee members, You can print them out so people know what they're in for, I guess. And also, as Jen mentioned, if you're unsure of how to set up your roles and responsibilities, she does have that ability to work with you in creating templates there. We have the basic template set up, but it's always best to work with someone that's an expert in sports administration. Now, if I just quickly scroll down to here, we've got our vice president here and it says assign an admin. So this means that this role is currently vacant. So if we come to this assign as an admin, you just need to search within that admin team that you've got and search for their name. If their name doesn't come up, that just means they don't have admin access yet and you need to invite them. So for this example, I'm just going to type my name and you'll see me come up as a contact. If we click save, okay, congratulations. I am now being elected as the vice president. So these are my responsibilities. And I'll be able to see any of my existing tasks that I need to complete. So I'm just going to step into the next section here as well. So I'll show you the task section of Tidy. If we head over to task here, so you'll see it will automatically take me to what my current tasks are. So this test one was just me playing around and creating a task for myself. You'll see there's another one down here that says assigned to vice president. So because I've overtaken the role as a vice president, that has now been assigned to me to do. So you can see I need to chase the treasurer for the financials. So that's obviously an old action item that potentially has come out from a meeting. So now I'm overtaking that task to be done. Now, I'm just going to quickly run over some of these areas. And then, as mentioned, next fortnight, I will do a full in-depth demonstration in the meeting section. Now, I'm just going to head back to our dashboard. So this will just give you an overview of everything that's going on within your club. So you can see this is how many active members we've got, how many contacts, and this is the task outstanding for this month, and this is how much income we've made. This also just gives you a monthly snapshot. You can change it to week, day, or today, and you can click to show what you would like to display. So if you don't want to show the invoices, you can do that. Expenses, transactions, and so on. Hide the meetings, hide the task. We also have the option to create a quick task from here. So if you come in here and you're like, oh, I really need to chase up the coaches for the working with children checks, you could quickly come in here and go, all right. Cool. And then you can put a due date for yourself. You can also put a quick little description if you need to. Need to follow up with the coaches and then create a task. And then that's going to create a task for you. And then you'll see that display now. So you're done and dusted. You've created the task. You can remember that later. And you'll also get a reminder about it too. So the next part is your contacts. So if you've got a contact list of all your members, you can actually import them into Tidy. And you can also, Tidy also has the ability for your contacts to register through the web page as a contact member as well. So then that way they just need to fill out some details and they're registered as a member for your club. Part of the contacts area, you can also collect custom fields. So we have like general contact details that you might want to collect. So like the first name, last name, and email and address and so on. But you might want to collect some other information like the working with children check number. Let's just say some player numbers. You might want to collect that information, some accreditation numbers as well for your coaches. So all that can be stored under the contact. Once you've created that contact, anything to do with them will all be in this section. So it's basically like a CRM. So if I just search my name in here, Jasmine, and we've got, this is the one we want to look at, Jasmine at TidyHQ. and anything to do with me is all going to be displayed here. So you can see this is my player number, and I've also offered to volunteer for this club, and these are the groups that I'm all attached to as well. I don't currently have any active memberships, and if I've got any relations to contacts, I will also display here. If I've got any permissions, so admin permissions to the club, that will also display here. And also you get like a little activity log as well. So this is really important. Again, if you're the president and you need to double check that the right people have access to the club within Tidy, you can check this information here, as we keep an activity log of what's being done in your club account. So let's just say I'm no longer the vice president, but I'm making changes. You'll be able to track that as well and remove our access. So that's a really, really quick, brief overview here. So importing your contacts here is really good because the next part is the communication portal here. So with our communication portal, once you've created your contacts, you can create smart groups. And with the smart groups, you can do communications out directly from Tidy. So, let's just say, the fields are closed tonight, and you need to quickly communicate that to all your coaches. So if you've created the contacts with the smart group, you can send a group communication directly from Tidy. So you can do it either via email portal here, or you can also do an SMS. If you do the SMS function, please note that there will be a small fee that will be charged. Before you do the SMS, you will get a quote. So if you are sending an SMS, you can see I currently have a balance. But if you don't have a balance, it will actually quote you how much it's going to cost. It's only a small fee, but just keep in mind if you are using that. So yeah, this is a great way just to quickly communicate to everyone about something, maybe an upcoming meeting as well. You can also do that from Tidy. The next section, I'm just going to quickly run through this, is your events. So you can create events directly in Tidy, and you can have free or paid tickets. So if you use the paid tickets, we work with a third party Stripe, so you can take the payments. And these again can be displayed on that web page. So the Bondi Football Club web page that I went through before, all your events can be on there. You can send a link to all your members, and then they can register through there. So you can see we've got our gala dinner coming up, but we haven't published that yet. So you can start drafting up your events as well. And then when you're ready to publish it and make it live, then you can just publish it. We'll also do a separate demonstration in the future on how to create an event. The next part is the finances. So as Jen mentioned, you can track your finances in Tidy. So especially if you're using the Stripe functionality and you're collecting payments for events or memberships for your club, or using the shop app in Tidy, all that information will be stored here. And you can also create invoices and expenses and deposits. So if you're not using any accounting softwares currently, you don't have a lot in place, you're not able to track it, then I highly recommend using Tidy's finance section. And if you have any questions on how to run that, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. If you are using like a Xero or Mile, they are probably a bit more advanced accounting softwares, where Tidy is probably more a basic software if you don't have any accounting software set up in place. Meetings. So this is like probably our golden child, I'd say, on Tidy. This is probably everyone's favorite tool. So I sometimes I joke and say, "Well, I wish my club would use this." But essentially, Tidy's meeting area is just an area where you can keep track of all your meetings. So you can see this is our upcoming meetings here. And if you go to past meetings, you'll be able to see all your past meetings. And any meeting minutes that you have done in Tidy will all be kept in this place as well. You can also keep track of attendance records too. So who's actually attended the meeting, who didn't attend the meeting as well. So it's all in one location. So yeah, in the next fortnight, please join us for a live session on how to set them up and also record meeting minutes. I'm going to skip memberships for now. and shop as well. I'll quickly just go into storage. So storage is an area if you want to store any important documents, so any policies or procedures. It's a good area to store it for or your admin team. Maybe you have some, what's it called, like special pins or I guess like locks for areas that you might want to store that information in here. So if you are storing it in the storage, please just note that it is not a editing tool. So it's not like Google Drive or like Microsoft Teams where you can edit it. It's more once you've got the PDF, you would just load it into the system. So that's a really, really brief overview of Tidy at the moment. So I'll head back into our presentation and we will continue on. Here we go. Cool. No, it's not wanting to work for me. Cool. Love that. Here we go.
Good job, Jess.
Yeah, running with the flows tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay. So really that does kind of wrap up our session for tonight. I guess if you have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, you can see our contact information is here. So please feel free to reach out to Jen if you want to get set up with your committee. You're not sure where to start. She's more than welcome, more than happy to help you. And then same with ourselves, we're more than happy to help you get set up correctly on your TidyHQ account. But yeah, thank you again for joining us tonight. And we hope to see you in the next fortnight where we run over meetings.